There are thousands of advisors operating all across the market. They have to comply with the rules of the regulator, and then they have to go through a complex process of giving advice to clients and using many different fintech solutions to do that. I mean, the average in the sector is 9, so wholly inefficient in terms of the way many of these firms are forced to operate.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Matt Timmins. He is a joint CEO for Fintel PLC. And Matt, it's good to see you again. How are you?
Hi, Steve. Great to see you. I'm very well, thank you. Are you?
Good, good. I'm doing well, thanks. Excited to learn a bit more about what's been going on. I've only had some recent news from one of your arms of the company, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But for folks not familiar, tell me a little bit about Fintel.
Superb. Yeah. So at Fintel, we provide services to financial intermediaries. Those are regulatory and support services. We help those firms comply with the rules of the FCA and give advice to their clients. And we have a massive customer base of over 10,000 intermediary firms paying us monthly subscriptions. And then the other part of the business, we have our fintech and research division, which is primarily the Defaqto business, where we provide technology solutions for intermediaries. We provide product data to general insurance providers, price comparison websites, and a whole host of other data services to that market. So we're operating right in the center of retail financial services, providing technology and support to product manufacturers and financial intermediaries.
Matt, you mentioned the number of clients you have on the regulatory side, and I guess you hear it every day. How do we deal with the regulators? I mean, it's a real challenge for a lot of companies who are trying to deal with keeping the lights on and getting their products out or whatever it is, or so that's a really big service that you provide for them.
Yeah, it's a really tough job, and especially in terms of the UK market, it's highly fragmented. There are thousands of advisors operating all across the market. They have to comply with the rules of the regulator, and then they have to go through a complex process of giving advice to clients and using many different fintech solutions to do that. I mean, the average in the sector is 9, so wholly inefficient in terms of the way many of these firms are forced to operate, and also highly complex in terms of dealing with the regulator. So we aim to distill the regulation down so firms can understand it and comply with it. And then we aim to provide fintech solutions that enable a business to use a smaller number, i.e., us and one or two other players, to be able to do the job that they need for their clients. So we're helping them become more compliant and also more efficient in their business.
I can tell you, I probably couldn't even name any CEO who wouldn't like more information about what's going on as far as research is concerned. And you mentioned the de facto part of it that you run. You must run into a lot of time of CEOs saying, what kind of data can you provide? And maybe you can expand a bit more on how de facto works.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're running an asset management business, one of the large businesses in the UK, you are supposed to understand what your underlying client looks like and the reasons they've invested in your product. It's very difficult to do so when the majority of trades come through an aggregated platform of some description. You never really see the end client. However, through our de facto financial planning engine, we have data on 50 billion pounds worth of transactions that happen each year. These are live advised transactions. And so we know why the fund is being recommended. We know what other funds the individual holds. We know the reason for investing in the first place, the duration, their attitude to risk, and all those other things that go with a good financial planning journey. We have that data available in an aggregated basis and non-personalized to help these asset managers better understand who's buying their products and why. So if you like, we're the buyer behavior data of the market.
Yeah. De facto had some recent wins as well. Obviously, the product is working.
Absolutely. So de facto also provides data to the general insurance market, and we provide them with a database we call Matrix, which is the underlying componentry on 43,000 different financial products. So you can, as an insurer, dive into the database and understand where your competitors are and where your advantage is by looking at the components of the product. We've enhanced that to Matrix 360, where we're also including a load of other data sets, including price, economic data, weather data, etc. And we've had 7 firms sign up since we launched a few weeks ago. So confirmation that Matrix 360 is indeed what the insurance sector need to help them make better decisions.
For sure. Matt, let's talk about the rest of this year. What are some of the goals that you want to see in 2025?
Yeah, so we had a really good 2024. We made over the course of the last 14 months, we've made 10 acquisitions and a couple of investments. So really buying the componentry that we need for the next 5 years. We've also delivered good financial results during that period of time with over 21% increase in revenue and 8.5% increase in EBITDA. So good financial performance, lots of acquisitions. The job for the next couple of years is to take those individual products that we've acquired and build them together in a seamless platform. So to build an identity layer on top and a data layer underneath so that our users can get the best experience of multiple different pieces of software, but in one ecosystem, like a Microsoft 365 for advisors, if you will. So that's the
Yeah.
concept, that's the focus of the business, rolling out de facto Matrix 360 to the market, and growing the business in those sort of 2 core ways.
Yeah, and as you've said, it's a lot of uptick, a big year in 2024 and equally in 2025. Matt, thanks so much. Great to catch up with you and see what is going on with inside Fintel. We look forward to following your story. Okay.
Brilliant, Steve. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. There's Matt Timmons, the joint CEO for Fintel.